This is the Team Objection Podcast for December 21st, 2021, episode 510. I'm freeballing all of this because, as you can see, we're doing a big bracket and it's a mess. So I don't even have the intro on this because, we were trying to get things done last minute.
It's a holiday special. When was the last time we did a holiday special?
Last year.
No, it's been years. I don't know if we did
ago.
one since we did our first holiday special ever. And somebody wrote in, Cody, and was like, the way your unyielding focus on Christmas is sickening to me. And we were like, wow, what a nice...
Did that actually happen?
What a nice comment. Yeah, I listened to the episode. I have a lot to say about that episode. We don't get to it right now because we have better things to do.
Like
more better.
Dave.
But yeah, look, Dave, it's a Suns hat. It says Suns on the front. It's a Christmas.
Okay.
It's a Christmas Suns hat.
I'm glad to know it's a Suns hat because pre-show I was saying, to my vantage point, it looks gold and it looks purple.
No, fuck you. I wouldn't do that. Merry Christmas.
At what age did you buy that, or was it purchased for you?
It was, so I used to always give out the gifts at Christmas for my family, and I actually still do. So they got me a hat. I used to wear like a regular Santa hat, and then they were like, how about a Suns hat? And I was like, well, here it is now. But I like it. I do like it.
Okay. Just curious if you had it for since you were like 12 or...
You were invited to the Christmas special for the first time ever. All you can do is come and complain.
I'm not complaining. I'm asking questions.
It's a little complaining.
I'm not complaining.
I like the fact that Sean's keeping with tradition, the fact of eating during the goddamn show.
Well, I'm going to be eating too.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
Everybody better be fucking prepared for that.
Yeah, we're running late. That's what the Christmas special is. I'm eating chicken burgers. The holiday.
It's not even
favorite.
A holiday meal, though.
It's a holiday meal. Look, chicken burgers, regular burgers.
Look, I stuffed my face to get in here 45 seconds before the show started. You could have done the same thing.
I was trying.
He wasn't trying that hard.
Look, all the bread was moldy, and I was like, well, I can't eat burgers without bread.
So he's eating the moldy bread, just to clarify.
I found the ones that didn't have mold.
As much.
I picked them off.
A little less mold.
That's not how that works, but okay.
Yeah, Maisie was like, don't you know they're all molded? And I was like, I don't think that's true. I can't see the mold, therefore, what's it got? Invisible mold's going to hurt me? Give me a break, man.
Things that are microscopic apparently just don't exist to Sean.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
I knew it. Sean was a COVID denier this entire time.
I can't see something. I can't believe something. You hear me?
Yep.
So last year, we had a bracket of the best Christmas songs / carols.
Well, that was last year?
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like it was a few weeks ago. Seriously. That's insane.
Sean, you did do a holiday special in
I guess
October.
We did.
You're correct.
To me, it feels like it was like 3 years ago, but it was in fact just 12 months because that's how bad 2021 has been and 2020.
Maybe this is a show I really liked. I can't believe that, though.
On the plus side now, we have the top 32 Christmas movies. Now, let's talk about how these are seeded because I'm sure there could be some contention. I found a bracket that had 32 movies in it. A few of them we had never heard of. One of them I think we should have, but none of us have seen it. So we made a few adjustments to it. And then I was like, okay, how do we rank these for like a seeding? And I went and there was this article officially done by Rotten Tomatoes, not just done by like a user, but by Rotten Tomatoes itself that ranked the 65 best Christmas movies. Only 20 of these 32 movies were even on that list. If it's below number 20, it wasn't on their list. So just keep that in mind. Like number 21, Jingle All the Way, was not on the Rotten Tomatoes list.
Well, because it's like Rotten Tomatoes always only does like the best rated.
Yeah, it
they
doesn't
didn't
help
do that here.
That's surprising. It doesn't help the Jingle All the Way, I believe, is like 25%. So
how would Polar Express not be on their list?
It's a shitty movie, Dave. It's a bad movie. That's why.
I know.
We're going to get there.
So Jingle All the Way is on our bracket, though. I see
it absolutely is because it's good.
It's matched up against a shockingly similar movie. We're not at that point in the bracket yet, though. So we're just going to work our way through this top to bottom, going through the 132, the 16, 17, etc. And we're going to see which one emerges victorious. Now, the nice thing about this for all the visual folks is that I can actually update this bracket live. It's part of why we were late. So we don't have to worry about like jotting it down on the side. You can follow along with us. It'll be fun.
So I have a question. Actually, we have 4 of us. We talked about a potential tiebreaker. Would the audience be a tiebreaker?
Yeah, The audience can be a tiebreaker.
That's the plan.
Okay.
And if the audience is also split, which as of right now probably is not going to happen, but if it is, then one of us has to concede. That's the next rule. So one of us has to find it in our hearts, Christmas miracle, concede their vote.
And I think maybe, we'll see how it goes, so it's going to be hard to tell if this is going to work or not, but maybe you have like one time that you can assert your will. Be like, I really feel like this one needs to advance. And once during this whole bracket, not even just the first round, the whole bracket, Can you assert your will in a tiebreak yourself?
Cody's going to assert his will on the one that I assert my will on.
It's possible.
And then the universe
And
is
they'll
gonna
cancel each
explode.
other out.
I have
then.
3 movies I need to make sure they make the final 8. That's,
Okay.
that's what
All
I'm here
right,
for.
Well, let's get this show on
Okay.
the road then and find out.
Let's get into
which
it. Starting with our 132 matchup. I'll read them all off because obviously we still have podcast listeners, so I want to make sure everybody's included. But we have the number 1 seed. Unsurprisingly, this was ranked best by Rotten Tomatoes. It's a Wonderful Life against the number 32 seed, a late entry. One of the movies on this list that's going to be a little borderline as far as is it a Christmas movie, Gremlins.
I just exist, Cody, to keep yours out. Okay, that's my goal. Keep me in the Christmas spirit. I just want to bring you heartbreak.
And then when you find out that we actually agree on a movie,
gonna
you're
be
going
really
to be
funny.
fucked.
Yeah,
So-
this one is sad to me because Gremlins, a lot of people are like, this is my favorite holiday movie because it's a little scary, it's a little creepy, but definitely Christmas themed.
You asked me horror movies I can handle. Gremlins is one of them.
There you go.
That's a good
Well,
example of it.
But I mean, it ran right up against It's a Wonderful Life.
Which is
it's like
bad.
it's like you made the playoffs and you're going against like the '93 Chicago Bulls in the first round. It's like it's '92, I guess, '93 maybe. Anyways,
96.
there's no chance. Is anyone even for a second going to consider Gremlins?
I
Well,
really don't like It's a Wonderful Life, but I know you're not going to let Gremlins isn't going to beat it. So I'm not going to like fight
Yeah,
that.
of course you don't like It's a Wonderful Life.
I don't like it at all.
Why,
it's bad.
Why would that
We have
surprise
plenty.
me?
We got plenty of time that I can get.
I
to.
mean,
I don't like it.
Gremlins isn't just because a movie takes place around Christmas doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie.
Well, we're going to be getting into that. I think there are better examples of that argument, though, so I think we should keep going. But I think that will be a big contention point.
Yeah.
But not on this one because who cares about Gremlins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
exactly.
relative to this bracket. Is Gremlins a decent movie? Like, sure, fine. But is it going to be the best Christmas movie ever? No.
Did I yell it out just to fill out the 30-second spot? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Who's going to
Probably.
die on the hill of Gremlins?
A gremlin.
And also, Chris, are you aware that you're frozen?
No, but who the fuck cares anymore?
The Gremlins are like, I love Gremlins! No.
Except for they all die.
Why am I frozen now? Why is
Spoilers.
everything breaking?
Okay, yeah, there's no spoiler alerts here. I can talk about how would we discuss these movies without, having a spoiler in them?
No, this is spoiler occurs. Spoiler alerts are here for everything. We're saying that now.
Yeah. Okay, just thank you, Dave.
Dave. Thank you for being responsible.
I appreciate that.
Chris has decided to elevate himself to master judge.
Otherworldly
therefore-
power.
Yeah.
And also eliminate himself in the competition completely.
So okay. Here's what I say. Let's keep talking. Clearly it's a Wonderful Life. We don't even need to spend time on this.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a Wonderful
Frosty the
Life. Moving
Snowman
on.
versus the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
This is super easy for me.
Uh-oh.
Santa Claus is not like a fun. I don't like Santa Claus.
Why do you hate Santa Claus?
It's a movie that from the title you can tell thinks it's too clever for its own good, and that persists throughout the whole movie. It's just
So your problem is not with the murder of Santa 25 minutes into the movie.
It is, yeah. As a kid, I didn't like that. I was like, wait, so that was actually Santa, and he died.
Yeah. Having actually just watched this last night and was finally really disturbed by one of the last lines in the movie when the kid, Charlie's like, I'm going to go into the family business, which means he's going to kill his father to become Santa. And that was actually really disturbing when I thought more about it. I loved that movie as a kid. I would vote for it, but I would not going to argue that hard over
If the
Frosty.
Santa Claus 4 involved the kid actually trying to kill the father, and it was an action movie, then I might look back retroactively more fondly on the first one. But that's not the case, and I don't.
Is that as bad as like Simba singing "I Just Can't Wait to Be King"? It's like you're singing about you just can't wait till your dad's dead, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
but that one I think is like the songwriter realizes that he's being naive, and that's great.
He's a
This
child.
is just because in
So-
the world of the Lions,
so-
the death is still a thing. Santa Claus can live forever.
So the custody battle in the Santa Claus also, is that disturbing to you for an uplifting Christmas
yeah,
movie?
that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the Santa Claus, but it's a clause like grammar, ha ha ha. And I'm like, fuck you, man.
I would like to point out that David Krumholtz as the really pissed off elf in there is really hilarious to look back on that.
Bernard.
Yes, Bernard. Thank you.
You know what I don't like is that Santa Claus dies in like a really bad, like no one, it makes Santa Claus look like an idiot. I didn't like that drug Santa Claus's name through the mud.
Well, that Santa Claus might have been stupid. You don't know.
What? I mean,
He fell off a
how long was that
house.
Santa for? Do we know? Does
We
the
don't.
movie?
We do
Not
not.
enough lore in the Santa Claus. Look, we're gonna
So-
eliminate Santa Claus. We don't have anything to say about Frosty the Snowman.
I have something to say about Frosty the Snowman. It's not that good, actually.
It's
kind of
pretty
weird.
good. It's pretty. Here's in my crystal ball. I don't think it's gonna go all that far, but it definitely is better than Santa Claus.
All right, so Dave, are you saying you vote the Santa Claus over Frosty?
Absolutely not. Santa Claus is absolutely terrible and flawed in every way, shape, and form. And Tim Allen is flawed in every way, shape, and form as well.
I was going to ask about how much that had changed in the last 20 years or so since the movie first came out, where in the beginning you were like, Tim Allen, look, he's like quirky and he's fun, he's on Home Improvement, he's Buzz Lightyear, and now you're like, Tim Allen, he's quirky and he's fun, and he was on Home Improvement.
All the things you just pointed out about the fact of hey, so Santa died in the first 5 minutes in a comically bad way.
It was great.
Then there's so many unanswered questions. And I actually just watched CinemaSins did the Everything Wrong with the Santa Claus recently, which was fantastic, by the way. I recommend watching it. But it was what if a meth head killed Santa? Then the meth head is now Santa?
Yes.
That's a horrible time for Santa time.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
So,
that'd be interesting. I should watch that movie too.
Santa can't be guaranteed to be good at his job. There can be bad versions of Santa Claus.
If they did a movie where a meth head became Santa Claus, that would be cool. This movie parading a really sort of fucked up story as a happy-go-lucky Christmas movie, that's what I didn't like. It was just completely tone deaf.
Well, he got custody of his kid in the end.
This was a weird period for me because as I was going through divorce, I felt like all the movies were going through divorce or involving families that should, like Matilda, where you're like, those parents should not be together. Or, this, or Mrs. Doubtfire, or whatever, right? There's all Liar Liar. There's all these custody battles.
That is really unfortunate.
Split parents from the early 90s. And this was one of those movies, right? This is mid-90s? I'd have to say, 95
94,
off the top of my
95,
head?
I think,
Yeah. So it's tough for me because I don't like the Santa Claus anymore. I didn't really like it back then, but I think Frosty the Snowman is the worst claymation movie, and there are some non-factors in that list. So I'm voting for the Santa Claus, even though I think I get 3-1, right?
No, I vote for the Santa Claus.
You voted for the Santa? So we have our first tie.
No, it's 2-2. What do you think?
It's 2-2. Audience, we got to decide now.
Chris's vote counts for 2.
Frosty the Snowman or the Santa Claus.
When it's convenient for you.
The first vote I see is going to go through this bracket. I will point out that
it's irrelevant because It's a Wonderful Life, which is bad, is going to advance past either of these movies.
Yeah, that's also true.
We'll tie it for now. We'll go back to it. But, so let's go to Elf Krampus, and then we'll go back and fill it
Elf
in.
Krampus is going to take 5 seconds. Elf's fucking great. So
I don't... Here's what I'll concede. I'm not going to sit here and say Krampus is a better movie than Elf. But Krampus is better than it gets credit for. It's not bad. And Elf is also not that good. Oh. So I'm voting Elf, but it is not as close. It's not as much of a blowout as you would assume.
You just hurt my feelings.
He did. I see. Elf is, spoiler, my favorite Christmas movie. So
my favorite out of all of this. This is the one I would enact my thing on.
Thank you, Dave. I will also be enacting it to make sure it advances into the final four.
That. I'm strategizing.
I'm already looking at the bracket to see what we need to do.
Yeah. Guess what? In our holiday special number 1, Dave went on a diatribe about how good Elf was.
Good.
And Chris and I were like, that's weird. But
I had no idea.
Elf is pretty good. So the audience ignored. There was too much pressure. They didn't want to be the tiebreaker. They skipped.
Thank you, audience, for ignoring the tiebreaker
Santa Claus,
and jumping onto the Elf.
That's okay. We'll get back to it. I mean, Elf is going to win, right?
I'm just going to put it through now.
Okay.
There's no way Krampus advances.
Okay. Chris is keeping his opinion close to his chest. He's going to wait.
Elf is better than Krampus. Krampus is fine.
Yeah, of course, but
I do like the idea of Krampus somehow emerging as the winner of this entire bracket, but it was never going to happen, especially with this first round matchup. See you later.
I would like Krampus better if they weren't all in a snow globe at the end. They were just trapped in a snow. They had no way out.
They were also trapped in a snow globe in Elf, basically. There's a snow globe and it's New York City.
That's true. You could argue that Krampus and Elf are basically the same
movie.
Yeah, okay. So, the Year Without a Santa Claus. I've never seen it.
Never seen it. No.
You haven't seen Year Without a Santa Claus?
You know the
song.
Well, A Year Without a Santa Claus sounds just like the Santa Claus. If he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing the job."
No, Year Without a Santa Claus is the claymation one. It has Heat Miser and Snow Miser in it.
Snow Miser.
And they have to travel around, and they go to the North Pole, and they try and figure out what the hell's going on, because Santa Claus is like, I need a break. Y'all have been running me to the ground.
Here's what I will say.
Sounds like a movie I would like. I need to watch that.
Here's what I will say. I have not seen this one, but I love all the claymation ones, so this one would probably get my vote. Because I don't really like A Christmas Story that much anyway.
I don't either.
I don't either.
It's probably blasphemy. The BB gun thing.
I will agree with you fully. A Christmas Story, I really is so overrated. And maybe that happened because when I was a kid, they literally play it for 24 hours in a row every Christmas. And everyone loved it and was like, oh, what a great movie. And then I watched it, I'm like, It's not that great, but I am exactly the opposite of Sean. Those claymation things drive me insane. I can't stand
Oh my
them.
God. Why? Because it's so creative and clever
Well,
and well done and smart?
No, it's not. That's the problem. Especially Rudolph. I'm going to tip my hand now. Rudolph is awful.
No, come on.
Rudolph
Come
is
on.
I remember which one it is
absolutely
now. I do like that movie. So you're with us. Santa
Thank
Claus
you,
is better.
Cody.
I looked it up to remember which. I just saw the photo. Now I know the fire and ice guy that Chris is talking about.
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
gonna
so
vote
this one
Christmas
advances.
Story.
Looks like a 3-1.
Yeah.
Buy a
Okay.
Christmas Story.
Christmas-
Some
That's
people are already
fine.
like fuming. You know, they're listening to the podcast.
We need
right
as
now, and they're
many
like, "Wait,
claymation
what?
movies as possible.
Year Without a Santa Claus beat a Christmas Story?
Yeah,
Hey,
maybe if A Christmas Story was a better movie, it could have advanced. That's kind of the whole
All right.
thing.
like, it's a
Here we
classic,
go.
but I don't think it holds up especially well.
Here we
I'm
go.
actually kind of pleased. This was sort of random in the sense of like I didn't manipulate this bracket or the seating. I just arranged the top 20 as I mentioned, and then we filled in the bottom ones, whatever. So we have two interesting matchups in this part of the bracket coming up. The first is two movies that are set at Christmas, but may not be Christmas movies. We have the 5 and 28, and Die Hard and Home Alone 2.
Here's what I have a backstory about Die Hard, because I don't know if you guys will remember this. So back in our first Christmas special, one thing that I'll talk about one day when the time comes, I was so annoying. I don't know what was going on because we did our retro look back and I was like so nice. By episode 25, which is not that much longer, I'm like a super edgelord. I hate everything. Everything sucks. Christmas is like so overblown, even though it's by far my favorite. I don't know what was happening. So in this episode where I was contrarian to everything I believe in, I argued Die Hard was a great Christmas movie. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie and therefore should not even be in this thing. What, we're just going to say every movie that takes place around the holiday that has nothing to do with Christmas at all is now a Christmas movie? Are you kidding me?
Here's my counter argument to that. Die Hard is as much of a Christmas movie as half the fucking movies on this list, and I'm not even talking about the weird ones like Batman Returns. I'm talking about what the hell makes Frosty the Snowman a Christmas movie.
Thank you.
It's a winter
agree with
movie,
Yes.
sure.
I also didn't agree with Frosty moving on necessarily, so I don't know.
It's still sitting
But-
there awkwardly, just waiting to get slaughtered by It's a Wonderful Life. So we're gonna have to get back to that eventually. But let's just let it linger for a while.
That's fine. I mean, but I agree. Like, just because Christmas is in the background doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie. Normally, a Christmas movie has to have something like Christmas be essential to the plot. Like, Wonderful Life, absolutely, Christmas is essential to the plot. A Christmas Story, very much so, essential to the plot.
Is it?
I even say Home Alone 2 is a Christmas movie because a Christmas is absolutely essential to the plot. They're traveling for Christmas. He is learning things about Christmas. He's in New York. All that. Like, it has to be essential to the plot. Die Hard, it's not.
Yeah, and like at the very least, Die Hard doesn't completely ignore Christmas. It just almost does. You get the couple sound effects are Christmassy. It's a holiday party. You get ho ho ho.
Isn't he only there
That's
because
About it.
it's Christmas?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like
He is there. The plot line needs him there because it is Christmas, and that's the whole point.
Yes, because he's going to meet his daughters.
Thank you.
From his
yep, yeah,
strange
no,
wife.
but
So,
but
so
point
the
is-
holidays are important to the
but, like,
plot
yeah,
to get him
just
there.
for the premise though. But then like nothing else is. It's
could've
like,
Well, it's
you got a
supposed to
Christmas
be an
movie.
uplifting family movie that brings you all together
Yeah,
while he
right.
kills the terrorists.
I'm happy when he kills Hans Gruber. I'm really excited. It really makes me want to hug my family.
Yes.
But I like Alan Rickman.
Yeah, like I you know what? If it was like a plot that like Alan Rickman wants to do this on this day.
So if Alan Rickman wanted to steal Christmas, then it'd be
No, I
Christmas.
mean that's still Christmas. But if he was like, I think American sentimentality is whatever around Christmas, then maybe that's more of a Christmas movie. But just getting ho 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 on a sweater and then no other mention. Also, gift wrap
you're
on
saying
his back. Gift wrap on
Alan
his
Rickman
back.
accidentally executed his plot around Christmas, and it was not intentional.
Exactly. Yes. There was gift wrap on his back. That's another little bit of a Christmas nod. So I'm not like entirely saying, but I'm mostly saying this
It's
is
fine.
barely a Christmas movie.
I need Die Hard to advance, but then there's something else I want to advance past it in this pod. So
Okay, so I am not going to vote Die Hard just because it's a great movie. But like Citizen Kane were on here, I wouldn't be like, well, that's the best Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie. So therefore, ergo, Home Alone 2 is my vote. Not proud of it necessarily,
I vote.
but I
I-
have to stick to my guns.
I actually really like Home Alone 2. I have liked it when I was a kid, and it's, I think, better than the first one, even though it's a flawed premise in every way. But it's entertaining at least, and I will absolutely vote for that.
Dave
over
attacks flawed premises in Santa Claus, then says Home Alone 2 is fine.
There really isn't a justification for a Home Alone 2, because after the first one happens, that family should never be allowed to abandon a child ever again, or they should be having their children taken away from them. So
They did do a good job of trying to explain it at least a little bit.
Sure, and then they put Donald Trump in it, so they already lost any goodwill from that right away.
He owned the hotel at the time.
I mean, sure.
They could have. There's lots of hotels. They could have picked a different hotel.
There's plenty
To
of
be
hotels.
fair, they didn't know he was going to run for president in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with like anything Ronald Reagan was in the 60s and 70s, and then all of a sudden, like, wait, he's the president, the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I'm going to vote for Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. I argued the other side of it anyways, just to make it kind of thrilling for the whole purpose of this. But, I mean, I don't really care about Home Alone 2, I'll be honest.
Good.
That, you know what, though, Chris, that's a very interesting point. The Frosty Snowman is a Christmas movie. It absolutely is. But then when you break it down on why, you're kind of stumped.
Yeah, like Love Actually certainly has a lot of Christmas trappings around it, but is it actually a Christmas movie as much as some of the ones on this list? I mean, we're certainly going to get there. You know, like Polar Express, for some of the issues that I have with it, like it's through and through a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Like, some of that's going to have to matter, especially later on. Right now we're in the first round, so like things are going to get tossed. Later on, that might be a deciding factor.
Yep.
I think ties are going to get broken by the higher seed.
Yep.
Unless somebody's willing to die right now on this hill for Home Alone 2.
Nope. I already said what I'm dying for.
All right. I'm
And
over
it's
there
not
clicking
dying hard.
the part I can't stop. So that means also the Santa Claus is advancing.
Okay.
Either way, it's not going to last very long. So we're not going to spend too much time worrying about that. Right below the matchup that we just had that was controversial, we have two movies that are certainly Christmas movies, but are also kind of alike in the end. We have the 12 seed Bad Santa versus the 21 seed Jingle All the Way.
Man. I don't really like... So, like, Bad Santa is a critically acclaimed movie that I don't really like. Jingle on the Way got shit on completely, but I actually kind of liked it. I've probably seen Jingle All the Way 25 to 30 times.
Good.
Very
good,
just
Sean.
Because that's on Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes,
we have
absolutely.
to save Christmas!
Yes.
Is what he says.
He's Turbo Man!
I have to get this toy! And he becomes like whatever.
He's Turbo Man, and it's Turbo Time.
Turbo Man. Turbo Time. Yeah, I like that movie. I think it's funny.
I think if you go into it knowing it is a bad movie, it is very entertaining. And the one thing I will say it's very redeeming about it is that Phil Hartman's in it. And I really like Phil Hartman, and it's one of his last movie roles, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's the shitty argument I'm going to go to, is that I think Phil Hartman makes that movie really, really funny whenever he's on screen.
And Sinbad's in it. Everybody loves Sinbad.
Sure,
That's
sure.
Not
as
true.
As a guy who puts a bomb in the mail in that movie, which was an interesting choice, but that's fine. Christmas.
Who in that movie? You're supposed to have a rooting interest in that movie. Who? Like, no one is good. No one is
good?
You want the kid to get his Turbo Man.
Yeah,
He's
but
not
he's the son at the end.
terrible. He's definitely not great.
He's not a very good father. It's
but
okay.
He, at the end of the day, is sort of trying to do the right thing eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that's like every movie. You got to have a journey, Dave. I'm sorry we don't start all the movies where the hero is exactly the person they need to be.
Elf is.
Not what I'm looking for.
Elf starts when he's good already.
It's just, no, Bad Santa is a wonderfully made movie and fantastic in every way, and Billy Bob Thornton nails it so good. It is one of the better movies on this list by far. The first time I saw it, I was amazed at how good that movie was.
Here's a question I should have asked during the Santa Claus, especially before it broke the tie in advance, but didn't. How much does the sequel to Jingle All the Way ruin your enjoyment of the original movie, if at all?
I was only aware there was a sequel last year that Larry the Cable Guy, I believe,
That's correct.
is in.
And Santino from WWE.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
there
Not
were
doing.
WWE wrestlers. There was one, I believe, in the first Jingle All the Way.
So I didn't know there was a sequel. I am purely ignorant.
I think it was 2014 or 2015. And yes, Larry the Cable Guy picked up the mantle.
I would choose to
terrible.
really be unbelievable that they chose to reboot Jingle All the Way like 10 years later with Larry the Cable Guy. I'm not
Also
going
him.
to pretend that I am aware of that, and that has nothing to do with my vote.
Okay.
Now, Dave, there was a Bad Santa 2.
Yeah, there was.
Really? I was honestly
you
completely
say you don't
unaware
know
of that.
either. Okay.
Doesn't change anything.
We don't know
was
the
gonna get those
sequels.
up.
We're like, we only watched the first ones.
Well, it's
Except
kind of
Home Alone
like it's kind of like Caddyshack and Caddyshack 2. Well, you can just disavow the fact that Caddyshack 2 exists
Absolutely.
and enjoy Caddyshack.
That's correct.
Well,
Agreed.
I'm doing Bad Santa.
I don't know that I
Jingle All
agree
the
with Dave's comedy movie choices, but we'll see. Jingle All the Way is my vote.
Okay.
Jingle All the Way is your vote.
Yes.
Chris is
I'm
probably
going Jingle All the Way,
Yes.
but it's very close.
Okay.
I like Bad Santa quite a bit, but there's something about that campy, like, the holidays are sort of meant to be this saccharine, almost don't take it too seriously thing, to me at least.
Bad
There are some
Santa-
people who
Bad
teach...
Santa was.
Bad Santa bums me out.
There are some people that have Christmas as being sacrosanct, and it's all about like the hymns, and you don't have any like light up Christmas music or anything fancy. It's all very serious and solemn. I don't know. So it's Jingle All the Way, but it's very slim.
At least Dave didn't love reindeer games, right? Can we all agree?
I have
Reindeer
no idea what that even
games?
is.
What a shitty movie. Hey, Dave, you could exert your will. Oh, no, wait. You can. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I can't. It was 3-1.
Oh, only on ties.
I'm
can
not
you
putting these
really...
votes in because I don't have time, but it was 3-1.
Oh, okay.
If it had been a tie, he would have had the chance to break the tie. With
I
his,
see.
But
But it got so smoked. You shouldn't fight my childhood, Dave.
I don't like you right now.
damn. I also want to point out that Santa Claus 2 made $140 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Anyways.
Sorry, cable guy.
Let's move on.
I
no, no,
thought they did
no,
with the lowest
Santa
common
Claus-
denominator.
Wait,
though,
wait,
or
wait.
anything.
Bad Santa 2
No, the Santa Claus 2 made $140 million.
with Tim
I didn't-
Allen again.
I didn't look up what
There's
the other two
been-
sequels made.
3 Santa Claus.
There has, because the last
Yes.
one had Jack Frost or
Yes.
some Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen is
No,
trying to destroy Christmas.
Not
Yes.
Martin Sheen. What's his name?
Charlie
Martin Short.
Sheen.
Martin
no.
Short. Martin
Sheen
Short,
Martin.
right?
Short. Martin Short.
Yes.
I always get them confused.
Sheen
but
Martin.
Martin Sheen is like the elusive man.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
that helps
you're right.
me. And the president. Probably most people.
Martin Short's the
would say
zany,
the
the
West
zany
Wing-
weird one. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Bad Santa 2 made $24 million on a $26 million budget.
Ouch.
I don't think we can find out what Jingle All the Way 2 made. I think it went straight to DVD.
It went straight to DVD. There's no way.
It had a budget of like $4 million. So
All Larry Cable Guy's salary.
Yeah.
that is correct.
Yeah.
Nobody else was known in that movie. All right, our 13-20 matchup. Oh, I moused off of it, so it's lit up. There we go. I was surprised to see this low on the Rotten Tomatoes list. We'll get to that more in a minute. But the 13 seed is A Charlie Brown Christmas, and the 20 seed is another classic, National Lampoon's
This is the
Christmas
first
Vacation.
Pairing I've got where I actually like both movies.
Guess who doesn't like National Lampoon's Christmas? Thank you. Yeah, Chris guessed right. I made it really hard. I thought it was. Here's the main problem. It wasn't funny at all. So that was maybe
Thank you.
the biggest issue
Thank
for
you.
me.
We finally agree.
Yeah, advertised as a comedy, not funny whatsoever. That's hard for me to reconcile. Also, it's a huge bummer. Like, you're talking about Christmas spirit. You're talking about like things that should mean, be important, values and whatever. You don't actually get that in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You get really stupid, like bits and jokes, and it sucks. I haven't even seen Charlie Brown Christmas, but I assume it's very
What the fuck?
heartwarming.
What?
I
You
don't
never-
really care about Charlie Brown, so I didn't have a big incentive to watch it.
Okay, well, we can just vote for Charlie Brown and move on then.
Yeah,
we're probably running out of time already. So.
Yeah, no, we can't. This
Yeah, we're
always
almost halfway
happens
through
on
the
this
show.
one.
We're not even halfway through the first part of the bracket.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but okay. How have you not seen Charlie Brown Christmas? It's like 23 minutes long.
Charlie Brown Christmas is going to
Watch it.
advance, but Dave wants to have this
I
conversation
don't know.
now.
I was too busy watching Rudolph Claymation.
Also, no, I'll just have to say, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation suffered from the idea that Randy Quaid was supposed to be a main character. He's not in the first movie. Like, National Lampoon's Vacation is fine for his 5 minutes he was on screen. The whole movie about him in National Lampoon's Christmas was the problem. So.
Yeah, they stretched that a little bit too much, which is true of a couple of things on this
Yeah,
list.
and also, I mean, I'll be honest, Chevy Chase, just like Tim Allen, kind of hurt the other ones. He's kind of a crazy guy, kind of an asshole, probably always was, so that sort of affects my thing on him, too.
Last thing I'll say about National Lampoon is the only thing that really makes me laugh in that movie is Chevy Chase awkwardly dancing with a sandwich when there's that woman there and he's trying to like impress her and he's eating the sandwich and he's trying to be. I'm not even sure that scene is supposed to be the funniest part of that movie, but it is to me.
It is one of them.
That's all I've got. It's about a minute and 30 seconds of that movie where I'm like, ha. And the rest of it I'm like, not really my style of humor. Some people love that stuff. I am not one of them.
Never figured it out.
Our last matchup at the top half of the bracket is a 29 seed, Christmas with the Cranks, against the number 4 seed, which is another weird one, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a Christmas movie.
I certainly don't like Nightmare Before Christmas as much as some others, but it is a good movie, and Christmas with the Cranks is a terrible movie. Therefore, definitely voting Nightmare Before Christmas.
There's
I
four of
can't
this real quick.
I can't stand Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's better than that movie.
If you talk
The
about like
song.
comedies that fail, and you have National Lampoon, and I'm like, I really didn't find it funny. At least I was not like this is aggressively bad. It's like they are going out of their way to make this not funny and make me miserable watching it.
Yep.
Another Tim Allen movie.
And
It was.
Cody, how can you? I just don't understand how you cannot like Night Before Christmas, like actively dislike it. The songs are wonderful in that. I can understand maybe not liking the plot. The songs are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Well, don't attack me, Dave. I said I like this movie.
It is another one of those movies where I'm like, who am I rooting for?
Yeah, fair.
Thank you.
Because I'm supposed to be rooting for Jack Skellington, but
Who's
he's
bad
kind of a like myopic asshole
He's
most
dead.
of the movie.
No, but he grows.
He's
that's
dick.
why he's
He doesn't
Look,
grow
does
shit.
he though?
No, he doesn't.
How does he
By the
change
end.
by the end of that movie?
He's still a
He
skeleton.
does.
No, he saves Christmas at the end.
He puts everything back right.
Yeah, he made mistakes.
So he's back to where he started.
Yep.
Well, no.
He has-
I mean, the situation maybe is back to where it started because he ruined it, but he has come to the realization, and it's his choice. It's
So he's
his
the
agency.
So he's the Grinch.
Yeah, that's like
He's skeleton Grinch.
He is sort of more like the Grinch than I think folks would care to admit.
He's like the Grinch. He's like Scrooge McDuck or the regular one. Either one, really.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. So he grows and he learns. But I don't love. So I'm not going to defend it too much. But like, I think it's good.
It is good. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
On the top of the bottom half of the bracket, the 3 seed, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the cartoon original, not the Jim Carrey one, which is down below. Versus Ernest Saves Christmas. I'm just going to go ahead and put my vote in for the Grinch.
The Grinch.
Yeah.
I think this holds up a lot better than a lot of the other things from 40, 50, 60 years ago.
I don't even love the Grinch, but I actually think Ernest can be kind of funny. But I only watched it as a little kid, so maybe I would disagree with that now. Don't hold me to that. I'm voting for.
Ernest doesn't
Grinch,
hold up
though.
as much as you would hope.
I
it would.
bet you it wouldn't.
I hate to tell you.
It doesn't hold up, but it still could be funny. But this is the Grinch. Again, the song in it is wonderful, and it's a good story. It does hold up really well.
Yeah.
So I'm voting for that for sure.
Then we have the 19 and 14 seeds. Love Actually at 19, White Christmas at 14. Love Actually was one of the last entries of 65 on this Rotten Tomatoes list. White Christmas, the Bing Crosby classic, was not much higher, which surprised me a little bit. I thought it was going to lean more towards some of those classics. It's a tough one. Love Actually has quite the ensemble cast. I'm also not sure any of them actually serve a purpose, but it's not a terrible movie.
I like Love Actually. I like it okay, and I don't know White Christmas. To be really honest with you, I've never seen it.
I don't know that White Christmas would hold up very well. It's kind of an interesting story. If I remember right, it's like guys come home from the war and like try to meet their women, and I don't remember exactly the whole plot of it. However, I will say
terrible so far.
I know I didn't do a good description of it. However, I will say I hate Love Actually. Actively hate that.
Why? It's kind of nice.
It's awful. Liam Neeson is the only good part of that movie. Everyone else, it sucks. Like the guy wanting to marry his maid, even though he can't speak her language. The guy Rick from Walking Dead trying to steal his best friend's girlfriend. I mean, it's terrible.
Okay, but who is in that movie?
Everyone.
A lot of people.
A lot.
Alan
Hugh
Rickman's
Grant,
in Alan
Keira
Rickman's in that
Knightley,
movie, right?
Liam Neeson,
True,
Emma Thompson,
true.
Colin Firth, Alan Rickman.
Okay, well,
the aforementioned Alan Rickman.
Yeah, as a tiebreaker, go with Alan Rickman's movie.
Ugh.
White Christmas's plot is a little bit different than Dave remembers it. I
Sorry.
haven't seen it in a few years, but
A
it's
bunch of guys from the war.
they
come home,
are
start
from the
a-
war.
They
They
are
are
from the
back
war.
at
and
home.
try to pick up
Their
shit.
old they come across their old commander in one of like the northeast states, and they're like, oh, he's on hard times. So they try and come up with this show to do a fundraiser for their old commander from the war, and they are sort of hitting on women in the process, but everybody did in those movies, so like that's pretty normal. So they're actually doing something for a good cause, and then the community comes together. It's not quite as lecherous as Dave made it out to believe. I'll probably vote for White Christmas. I think there's a few other songs from that hold up pretty well as well, but I'm not super strong about it.
Oh well, I'll vote for White Christmas too because even though I like Love Actually, I do. I resent that it was the template for for all the Valentine's Day, New
holiday
Year's,
movies.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this maybe is what ended the relationship. Looking back in hindsight, could have been a lot of things. It might have been this. When I was forced to go see Valentine's Day, and it was the worst hour and a half. Like, I was suffering in the theater. It was awful. It was awful. There was no good part about it. Yeah, like Julia Roberts, Ashton Kutcher, all these actors and actresses.
This is now a best Valentine's
Bunch of
Day movie.
shit.
bracket.
I actually think about there's a scene with Jennifer Garner and Mick Dreamy in a restaurant, and she finds him cheating, and so she's talking about like there's a thing on the menu that crushes testicles, and the dialogue is so bad that it makes me sick, and sometimes I still think about it to this day.
And you should
Really?
blame Love
Do
Actually.
you?
And I
Do you
I
think
do,
about
Dave. I
it?
blame a little bit. Like, yeah, the other day I was in the car and I was like, oh yeah, Jennifer Garner did that thing with McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey. Yeah.
Those things will stick with you. I have references from old things that I hated that still pop up out of nowhere sometimes when I'm minding my own business.
Yeah, it's like songs that you play in your head when you're like nauseous. Do you guys have? I don't know if you do, but
I don't know
I'm
what
usually
Dave.
not
I don't know what
nauseous.
Dave's voting, but I just concede my vote if we move on from this.
I literally said I hate Love Actually, actively hate it.
So White
I'm
Christmas
voting
wins.
for
Okay,
White
good.
Christmas.
Yep. Through it goes. It won't last long. This is going to be interesting. The 11 seed, yes, the 11 seed. So the other things from 12 to 20 were ranked below this movie on Rotten Tomatoes' list. Batman Returns versus the 22 seed, not on Rotten Tomatoes' list, The Polar Express. Now, I'm going to go first just so I can get some words in edgewise.
Yeah,
Polar
Sean.
Express has a really bad Uncanny Valley thing going that I'm sure at the time it looked okay, and now in subsequent viewings, the more I watch it, the more I'm just like, oh my god, these look like monster people. But it is kind of a cool holiday ride, no pun intended. Plenty of like real life applications have been applied to this now because they've watched this movie and everybody wants to duplicate it themselves and go on a train and have cocoa and blah, blah, blah. I don't like Batman Returns. I think it's the worst of those Batman movies from the 90s. That's right.
Oof,
Wait.
That's
You
right.
think that is
Oof.
worse than
that's a bad
than
take.
the Val Kilmer George Clooney movies?
That's
Because
correct.
I don't like
Okay.
Batman Returns, but
I might want to show up for a six.
At least those
six
two
movie
have-
bracket of
Batman
that.
and Robin.
At least those two have camp value.
Look,
fair.
But
Okay,
Batman
remind-
Returns is decent.
I have to ask. Batman Returns, just to make sure I've got the right one in my head. Batman Returns is the one with Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey,
No,
right?
Wrong.
no, idiot.
Idiot, stupid.
No, this is the sequel to the
That's-
original Michael Keaton one.
So this is oh my god, what's her Michelle Pfeiffer?
It's Catwoman.
Yeah, Danny
Ah.
DeVito.
Mhm.
Okay.
As
Christopher
we know.
Walken for
Mhm.
some reason is in
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
It's I don't love it, but it's it's okay. But here's the problem again. Like Cody, do you remember in Batman Returns when Batman punches the Penguin off of the Christmas tree and declares for all that Christmas is saved? Do you remember that part?
I do vaguely remember that
It's
part.
near the end.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It doesn't happen. There's no relation to Christmas.
There's
at all in
there's
this
something
movie.
about yes, there is relation to Christmas.
No, it's even worse than
the
Die Hard.
very start of the movie, I think, if I remember right,
No, I
has
don't.
something to do with Christmas
And
Penguin and being in a cage and some bad like.
Now, I'm probably being a little bit more harsh on this because I think it's pathetic that this made Rotten Tomatoes list and several of the ones on the list below didn't. But, yeah, it's not a Christmas movie at all.
no,
I
I
don't,
mean like not.
yes,
not
like,
even,
are there a couple small references? Sure.
Yes.
But, like, again, Die Hard at least has a little bit of a through line, and, like, you can hear Christmas music at different points. It's really small, and it doesn't really warrant being a Christmas movie, but it's there. I don't even know what the point of this one is on this list.
You needed filler movies and I threw it on very quickly.
That
Yeah,
was
I
on
mean,
there before you got here.
Yeah, that's
Oh, was
true.
it really?
That
That was
11th
on
seed.
Rotten Tomatoes' list.
Oh, that's
11.
actually weirder.
That's like really ranked high.
So I'm going to eliminate it right now.
You can. I will say the Polar
Oh.
Express. At least they took advantage of the animated approach. So there's a lot of really cool visuals and crazy things that you
And-
can't really do in a live action.
And the
So-
non-people parts, I think, look pretty good
Yeah,
still.
so
Like,
I
the
appreciate
train doing
that.
crazy stuff, even though it's completely unrealistic. You're like, it's magic, it's Santa, so
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't love it, but yeah, it's
Can I
okay.
just argue real quick that Danny DeVito was awesome as the Penguin?
Yeah,
At
I mean,
least
he was.
he
He
was
really
terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really
He was
good.
actually
Awesome.
terrifying.
He saved that movie because
Yeah.
the rest of it was pretty bad.
No, it was okay. It was pretty
It
good.
doesn't measure up
I
to
mean-
the first one.
It doesn't
no,
matter.
Okay.
I would actually vote
okay.
Batman
No,
Returns.
certainly not at all. That's
don't know.
very different.
I don't have time for mediocre movies when I'd rather enjoy watching the bad ones that came after it in the 90s.
I know, but like saying like Batman and Robin is better than Batman Returns is different than saying.
Okay, it's not objectively better, but I'd rather watch it 100
no,
times
I know,
out of
but I'm just saying
100.
that's different than saying it's not as good as the first one. No, of course I'm going to agree with you. Of course.
27 versus 6 is The Grinch with Jim Carrey from 2000. It wouldn't let me put the full title. It was like, you don't have enough characters. Versus number 6, Arthur Christmas, a more recent addition if you want to join the animated mix.
Arthur,
Gotta
like
look that up.
Arthur?
Yeah, it's an episode of Arthur where he kills DW and hangs her head atop the Christmas tree.
Oh, that's great.
God, wouldn't that be cathartic? It's never going to happen. The show's done now. They finally killed Arthur. I mean, the show, not him. And now we'll never get to see him actually kill DW.
Wait, is it?
Mhm.
Is it? Hey, what a wonderful kind of day, Arthur. Seriously,
James McAvoy's in this. You'd think you would like that because of him.
No, Sean.
I'm. s- I'm so lost because I really was gonna buy Arthur did a Christmas special.
It is a like computer generated weirdish type of
I like
movie.
that a lot less, but I really hate Jim Carrey's Grinch. So
Arthur is the illegitimate son of Santa Claus or some shit like that.
Huh.
Because Santa Claus's last name is Christmas.
I was about to say, is that implying that it's Santa Claus Christmas? Claus
I believe his name is actually Arthur Claus, not Arthur Christmas. But
oh well.
So, just so you know, they did make a book of Arthur's Christmas. We could go with that instead. Although I will say, the Grinch movie, I hate. I absolutely despise that movie. I think it was. I like Jim Carrey. I like a lot of his movies. Can't stand that.
It felt really soulless to me. Oh, hey, we got a really. Yeah. It felt like no one.
Wow.
Cared, except maybe Jim Carrey. Like, I feel like he probably tried, but everything in that movie let him down.
He couldn't save it. I thought his acting was actually really good for what he had to work with.
Yeah.
But the plot is awful. And the little girl singing that song makes my ears want to bleed. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. So I guess we're voting for Arthur Christmas.
Arthur Christmas, not even knowing what it's about.
None of us have seen it.
Yep.
I believe maybe I saw it, but I
just
don't
killed
remember
a spam
it very
comment.
well.
I haven't seen it either, so I guess see you later, Arthur Christmas.
No. They hate Grinch so much they want
You're
to
gonna
vote
put it
Arthur
through,
Christmas
even though.
Yes.
I mean, I will say this is probably the worst point of Jim Carrey's career. Not this movie specifically, but like this window in between Liar Liar and like Eternal Sunshine, where it was like, okay, maybe we don't need Jim Carrey as the leading man quite so often. So okay. Go forward, Arthur Christmas, whatever you are. I don't think you're going to last for long.
Nope.
Number 7 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We've mentioned it already. Versus number 26, Scrooged.
Well, so now here's the problem. If this was against Christmas Carol, it's easy for me. I don't know what Scrooged is. I have some guesses.
Bill Murray.
Okay, that gives it a little more credit, I guess. But so it's a wacky comedy about the Christmas Carol.
It's kind of like a Christmas Carol, but with Bill Murray in it as Scrooge, kind of.
Yeah, one unfortunate byproduct of the way this has gone is that all three of these stories are right down here mushed into the bottom part of this bracket because we also have the actual A Christmas Carol and we also have the Muppet Christmas Carol, which are all just Scrooge.
Interesting.
And we also have, so it's all fine. It's fine. Look,
so pick your best version of Scrooge, and that's going to be in the
well, I'll give you a spoiler alert. This isn't it.
No. I can't say, and that actually sounds like maybe it would be amusing, but I like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I've already established this. I think it's a great movie. Dave can suck it.
Look, the problem I have with it is Dasher, the dad is just as awful of a human being. Like, he doesn't even love his son. He's
not even a human being. He's a reindeer.
He's a reindeer.
Whatever. But he doesn't love his son at all. Santa is kind of an asshole the whole movie. And so, the head elf, basically beating his other elves over the head for being off pitch or whatever during their stupid ass song. There's a lot of problems with it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know you could view it as, Rudolph had no value until he did. But I think the message is we can, celebrate the things that make you different. I think probably what they were going for.
Yeah, let's celebrate the things that make you different when they find they have value. Otherwise, fuck them.
Well, no.
I like to think that all these reindeer are young because if they're all full-fledged adults, this movie takes a much more sinister turn.
That's what Dasher was, his dad.
Yeah, you can't really help that part for sure. So, because there are different tones in this one, but the claymation one, they're all pretty much just grown-ass reindeer who are just bullying a child. So that's,
Yeah, but I mean, what? Who wants to see the movie where Rudolph's born and everybody's like, "We accept you for who you are. We celebrate your difference," and then he's happy his whole life.
They could have just been less rude, less mean.
They could have tried to be actively trying to find a fit for him, rather than being like, "You fucking freak."
You suck.
We could have maybe gone a little bit less hard on that, and maybe that's just us being, all 2021 cancel culture-y, and now we're all babies, or maybe it's just that it's not very good.
That's what I'm saying. It's as long as they're not kite running him in the back alley, I think it's probably fine. I don't think anything. I think we're probably overemphasizing how mean they are to him.
I'm just imagining them waterboarding Rudolph, and you can see his nose glowing through the torrent of water down his face. Scrooge is basically Groundhog Day set at Christmas without the time loops, or good. So I'm going to go ahead and push Rudolph through.
All right. Yes.
I don't even know what I'm voting for.
Scrooge was a waste of Bill Murray.
Rudolph.
I mean, it's okay, but it's the same formula. It's he's an asshole and he has to learn to be better.
Chant it with me, Cody. Rudolph.
Shut up.
This one's kind of interesting.
I'm just not bothering arguing, really.
Because, we already had one Michael Keaton film, but why not another one with Jack Frost, the 23 seed, versus number 10, A Christmas Carol. So this is the original, Christmas Carol, the classic one, the one from a while ago.
See, this is hard. I don't know if I've necessarily seen this one, but to me, it's like the representative for Christmas Carol. And so because of that, personally, I don't know if there is a more curb stomping on this list than this one right here.
Yep. I don't know a lot about Jack Frost. I think it's probably pretty crappy, so I'm with you on that one.
Is Jack Frost actually, is there like a Christmas tree? Is it around the holidays or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is also incredibly sad.
It's not an uplifting holiday film.
No, I mean, he's a murderer, right? The murderer
No,
snowman?
He's a dead father.
He gets into a car accident and dies and reanimates as a snowman.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that kills people.
No, he doesn't kill people, Sean. That's a different
You're
movie.
thinking of a different movie.
Oh.
There is a murder snowman movie. You are correct.
The poster for this movie would lead you to think he was, in fact, a serial killer because he has this kind of menacing look. That I think was meant to be playful, but does not play that way. It would be very easy to cut this movie as a horror movie.
Yeah,
there it is on Dave's window.
Sure can.
There is a movie called Jack Frost that is a horror movie.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's called The Snowman?
That's sort of the origin of the character in the 18th century tellings
There's a horror.
of it.
There's a Jack Frost
that's not
horror
what
movie.
this is.
This is very confusing.
Well, okay, at least I'm not crazy. But
you're not
that's
crazy.
the one I was thinking about.
Christmas Carol is George C. Scott with... he fucking chews up scenery as Scrooge. This is a man who's been tormented, and I don't think it has the charm of Muppet Christmas Carol. Spoiler alert, it's coming up next, and it's going to be high on my list.
Because it's fucking good.
It's a really unfortunate first-round matchup. But I'm going to put Christmas Carol through here. Jack Frost is too much of a downer for me. I actually don't think it's bad, but it's really tough to get through when you're like, I want to be holiday cheer, and you watch this,
so
you're like,
sad.
oh.
It is so sad.
Okay, so Christmas Carol. Now, this one's interesting, actually. I can see it being divisive.
It's the least curb stomping.
This is the toughest first-round matchup, in my opinion, and I don't even think that's that close. I think Jingle All the Way and Bad Santa was decent for a first-rounder, but this one... Because Home Alone's really good, and certainly has its Christmas ties. You can make the case it's really not a Christmas movie. It's more about torturing two burglars. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty fair to include that on a Christmas list.
Yeah.
The Muppet Christmas Carol is one of the ones I want to watch almost every year.
So
Me too.
I like agreeing with Dave as little as everybody else on the panel, but I don't know if it's because it's the first one that I saw or what. I prefer Home Alone 2 to Home Alone 1. Which one's a better movie? Maybe Home Alone. But if you ask me which one I'd rather watch these days, Home Alone 2.
I figured you guys would be pro-Trump together. It's fine.
That's why. It was an okay movie. Then Trump
Elevated.
came in, saved the whole thing. His material, golden. I love the Muppet Christmas Carol, though. It might be the telling that I think is the most representative. And I know I kind of just use that above.
Is it the easiest to grab onto when you're younger and not get bored by because the Muppets are in it?
I think, but it works
even
on
though
both levels
because they're not doing Muppet shit most of the time. They're playing the movie pretty straight. I mean, it's a joke everyone says every year is that the movie's played incredibly straight by Michael Caine and he's taking it super seriously. I actually, as a person who loves the Muppets a lot and have for a long time, I actually didn't watch this when I was a kid. I watched it when I was more of an adult. And I don't really like A Christmas Carol as a story very much, but I love this movie because there's Muppets. Yeah, I don't like the movie very much.
How do you not like A Christmas Carol? Like the story in general. Ghost of Christmas Past feature. It's one of the best.
It's fine. I didn't like the original movie, the old movie. Again, I'm also shitty and don't like really ancient
Well, I was going to
movies.
say, if you made a list of the best stories ever told, I think A Christmas Carol somewhere is on that list.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Wonderful.
I think the story itself, I liked the application of the story with the Muppets more than I liked the really old movie.
Fair. That's fair.
It made me actually appreciate the story better, which is probably weird because it's just a bunch of fucking puppets.
But the Muppet Christmas Carols, if it were died, I'd enact my thing on it now because holy shit, it is such a good. Songs are great.
It's a shame that Home Alone's not going to make it into the second round when there are probably 7 or 8 other movies that shouldn't be, at least compared to that.
Yep.
But
I agree.
That's how it breaks down. And again, these were both on their list. 15 and 18 both made the cut for where Rotten Tomatoes had placed them. So that's why they ended up here, because they ranked them so poorly. So if you want to have an outlet for your rage, it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's not our fault.
Can we just move Home Alone up to where Polar Express and Batman Returns was?
No,
and
Dave, I wish we could,
Unfortunately,
but we
we
can't
cannot.
do it. We're
That would be
beholden
good.
to the
That's
rules.
not how seating works.
We'll just
Dave.
pretend Home Alone finished in 17th, okay?
Yeah, we do that, and then we start like messing around the rest of it. Like we have to.
No, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to talk shit about Four Christmases, and then we're just going to move on as Miracle on 34th Street goes past
I don't
it.
even need 30 seconds. I
Okay,
think this movie
hit me with whatever you
sucks.
got.
I had an anecdote about it. It's not even worth it. It sucks.
I remember watching it and thinking, like, man, these people are terrible.
I can't
Miracle on
believe you
34th
watched
Street-
it.
I did. I actually saw it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So bad.
Which is a shame for a cast that I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is such a shitty movie.
Vince Vaughn's a tricky one because if he's not going to be very redeemable, you need a cast around him that is. It's why like Dodgeball works because he's kind of just a straight man asshole most of the time, but like everybody else around him is interesting. I haven't seen Four Christmases, but it sounds like he's not interesting.
There's a book about writing movies that references Four Christmases before the author saw it, and he has all these ideas about how good it's going to be and why it was such a good pitch. And then the movie came out, and it was not at all what he thought it was going to be, and terrible. That was the
Reese
anecdote.
Witherspoon's in it, and she's usually really good, but nope.
Yeah, this killed Vince Vaughn's career.
Yeah, it kind of did.
All right, so as is tradition with
Vince
these
Vaughn's doing
brackets,
fine.
we talk a lot about each of the movies in the first round so that we can save time later. So even though we're at the 50-minute mark, we can kind of power through the remaining rounds until we get close to the end. The second round doesn't have a whole lot I think we're going to fight over. For example, It's a Wonderful Life, I think it's just going to go 4-0 over the Santa Claus.
I'm
yes?
surprised the Santa Claus. We talked so much shit about it. I forgot it made it through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a wonderful life. Easy.
I
Sweep?
vote for the Santa Claus.
No,
even
you
if I
don't.
Lose.
You're
even
being
if I lose,
stupid.
I want to be on the
Fine.
All right,
losing
I'll tell you
side.
what. Here, I'll even put it in there for you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Hate that.
There you
should
go.
be a
Now it
sweep.
even shows
that
it
should be a sweep.
forever.
No, it should
Look,
not be.
I'll talk later about It's a Wonderful Life.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to have time. 'cause
Yeah, we haven't talked about
whatever
it yet 'cause
advances
it's
is
so
gonna,
good.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have a nice big argument between it and Elf, which is gonna suck because Elf's gonna
Yeah,
fucking
you're gonna.
lose
Yeah,
somehow.
well, we'll see.
Elf and Year Without a Santa Claus. I would vote for Year Without a Santa Claus just because it's one of my own personal favorites. Even though I think Elf is better, but
Well-
like that one speaks to. That's one of my annual traditions is to watch Year Without a Santa Claus. So I'm going to vote for it and lose.
Well,
No, because
I mean,
Sean's voting
I
for
would
with
vote for
you.
it too because I don't really like Elf that much.
But tiebreaker goes to the higher seed. We're done.
Okay, there
I
you
know.
go.
I
There you
just
go.
I need to know what you don't like about Elf. I mean, Will Ferrell is so perfect in that
It's
movie.
like fine. It's a movie that I watch and I'm like, okay, that was a thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
like
know, for
I
someone-
don't love it. It was
for someone
very
who loves
like I feel
movies
like
so
it's
much.
by the numbers a lot, and I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again, Dave.
Please come to my house and watch it with me and my family because
I will. I will.
amazing.
But when I talk through the whole thing and then I make you hate it, no, I wouldn't do that. I'll probably like it, but
Disgusting to put the scores on there. Shameful.
I didn't realize it was quite that easy. I've been rushed all day today.
Jingle all the way.
Die Hard and Jingle All the Way.
Jingle all the way.
Die Hard.
I mean,
You're voting for Die Hard now?
Yes, I can't stand Jingle All
I
the Way.
almost gotta say Die Hard
I'm
2
going to say Die Hard
just
as well.
because I
It's
don't
fine.
think it's a holiday movie. But Jingle All the
This
Way.
is fantastic that it has advanced after all.
Look,
of that.
fine.
Jingle All the Way is a guilty
I voted
pleasure,
for
okay?
it, and then I voted against it, and then you all three voted for it. That's.
I hate.
I can't
hate
imagine
Jingle.
as an adult
I'm
wanting
sure
to take
this
my
is going to
kid
be
to see
this is
Jingle
going
All
to be
the
a
Way.
mess. I'm voting for Charlie Brown.
I'm also voting for Charlie Brown Christmas. I think it's really weird to watch as a kid because it's
we're gonna-
like a lot of the things with Peanuts, not really kid oriented, but it's still a classic, and I
And
like watching
now
it.
it's time to
you.
lose 2-2.
I mean, I'll probably go Nightmare Before Christmas, but not by a lot. I mean, I haven't even seen it, the Charlie Brown one, and I don't love
How?
Nightmare Before
You
Christmas.
haven't seen the Charlie Brown Christmas?
No,
we judged him in the first round for
Oh.
They
this.
railed
I was
me
kind
on
of
it.
doing stuff. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, no, you can pile on that Sean's an idiot.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'm going to do it every round going forward.
Okay, yeah.
So-
Well, it's
Okay.
gone now, so.
It's not 2-2. It's not going to be 2-2 because I vote for Charlie Brown Christmas. It's gotten better as
Oh,
I've gotten
shit.
older. Like
Good.
I said,
Oh.
You know, I don't feel
I've
bad
got-
about losing this one.
Good.
I honestly, it has gotten better as I've gotten older. I've appreciated it more as I've gotten older.
I resent Nightmare Before Christmas a little bit because it is some people's favorite movie of all time,
Oh,
and that
I
I,
like
just
it a
don't
lot.
understand at all. So you know what? This is fine.
Okay.
I like it a lot, but not that
you can
much.
go 4-0 here, right?
I'm just going to go ahead and put Grinch through.
Yep,
The cartoon's
absolutely.
a classic.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Grinch beats White Christmas.
Sure.
I do not
I'm
care
going to
about
go
this
ahead and
next
put
one
Polar Express
because
through.
it's going to lose to Grinch anyway.
Yep. A Polar Express versus Arthur Christmas. Somehow I have to tell what these are. Polar Express is just messy, and Arthur Christmas, I don't know what the fuck it is.
None of us have
so-
seen Arthur
don't
Christmas.
know.
I don't even know
Yeah.
why it made it through a round.
Because we hate the Grinch.
I
That's
guess
why.
hate
like,
you
if-
hate
if
Jim
you're-
Carrey that
You
much.
talked about putting Home Alone up in the Jingle All the Way Band Santa's like loser spot. Put it in there.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so it can move on around. Or two, it'd probably be Polar Express.
Okay, I
It
really
would.
want a Christmas Carol versus a Muppet Christmas Carol here. I
think it's
really,
gonna happen. 'Cause
really
I'm
want
not
that to
voting
happen.
for
I'm
it.
voting a Christmas Carol.
All
'Cause
right.
I don't like Rudolph.
4-0 it is.
I like Rudolph, but it's no Christmas Carol.
I got an email. I got to close that. Hold on. I'll fix everything. I promise. Great.
Shit. Oh, spoilers.
No, it's fine. Okay. Christmas Carol moves on 4-0, and then Muppet Christmas Carol, Miracle on 34th Street. So this is a tough one because like Miracle on 34th Street is pretty damn good.
I don't know why I didn't like Miracle on 34th Street.
Because it's an old movie.
Oh, here's what I'll say. I didn't like the movie at all. And then I saw
Oh,
I saw a theater production that was really good, actually. But I'm still going to go with Muppet Christmas Carol. But it's close. It's close. The theater production was really good. Really, really, really good. I was like, oh, that's why this movie's good.
to be specific, we are of course talking about the original and not the one with Matilda.
Yeah, that's true. I would vote Muppet Christmas Carol because it is one of my favorite holiday movies ever. And
Yeah.
while Miracle on 34th Street's classic, and it's a classic for a reason, I love Muppet Christmas Carol so much.
Yeah, you may have come to the wrong target demographic if you're expecting Miracle on 34th Street to do big things here, unfortunately. Although I do like it quite a
15-2
bit.
upset.
There are some matchups where Miracle on 34th Street would have been in the third round, maybe
Yeah.
even the fourth, but this is not one of
The
them.
play is fantastic.
Why don't we
Alright.
go bottom up? I think we should go
me-
bottom up.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Just do the Christmas Carol and
Can't see
Muppet
the
Christmas
scroll
Carol
bar.
now.
It's all
Whatever
in the
you
frame.
want, Cody. It's your show after all.
Well, the last one's gonna be a thing.
All right, so our Elite Eight, It's a Wonderful Life, Elf, Die Hard, Charlie Brown Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Polar Express, Christmas Carol with the Muppets. So I guess we're going to the bottom now for
Yes.
reasons. So what
I
are you
mean-
voting for?
Muppets.
Muppet Christmas Carol
I-
by a million.
Something about the accessibility of the Muppets, while still being that classic story, I think really resonates and
Okay, that was
gives
easy.
it just that little bit of an edge.
That was easier than I thought. Okay, never mind.
Wow.
I'm so glad we changed.
Glad we went down to the bottom. So I'm ignoring Cody. I'm going back to the top. 1 seed, It's a Wonderful Life, and 9 seed, Elf. This is where somebody might die.
Well, at
Well,
least I know.
I'm going.
Okay,
I will.
let's-
If we're
let's
doing
have
our
an order.
enacting
Let's-
not losing thing, I would like to do it now.
Yeah, well, it has to be a tie. So why don't you wait?
Well, I
Well,
think
don't blow it until you
I
have
just
to.
assume
I
you and
guess.
Chris are gonna go with "It's a Wonderful Life," and then just
You might be surprised.
I think
on
Dave's
what
going with
Dave is
me.
going to do, though.
Dave, you're gonna
Oh.
turn your back on Elf right now?
Look, no, let's have an order. So Cody, you're voting Elf.
Yes.
Okay. This one is tough for me, I will say. I never really actually watched It's a Wonderful Life as a kid, but then I grew up and watched it and actually appreciated it a lot when I got older and wondered like, oh yeah, this is why people like this movie. I understand it. It's really well done especially for an older movie. But Elf is magical. So yes, I'm voting Elf.
Thank you.
So, okay, here's the problem. Dave, and it's okay, I'm not going to rag on him because I've also changed since the holiday special. Dave said It's a Wonderful Life. He said It's a Wonderful Life was better 6 years ago.
He has children now.
I'm very upset because It's a Wonderful Life is, I don't even have to
That's
see what the rest of the list is. It's the best Christmas movie by a lot.
It's
And I don't even care which
not.
version you're doing. The abridged TV version or like the full version. I like them both. So It's a Wonderful Life is my one vote. And this is where things are going to get messy potentially. Almost Chris also votes Elf, and then there's nothing I can do except just say we've made a terrible mistake. Okay.
So it's 2-2. By the tiebreaker rules, It's a Wonderful Life is going to advance, but it sounds as though Cody is going to invoke his one time.
Yes.
Is anybody else going to invoke their one time?
Yeah, I mean, I will.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
So now those two have canceled each other out, so only Dave and I have a saving vote left.
Dave, just
So-
remember, you feel passionate about Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, but Dave, it's gonna make it
gotta
through. It's all
double-check
good.
what the bracket is here for Muppet Christmas Carol. What it's going up against.
It's fine. It's gonna be okay.
Hold on, I'm checking. It's God. I am moving Elf on. I'm calling it.
Yes. Unless Chris is
Chris
Wait,
is
so
also
you're
going-
invoking your thing too?
Yes, unless Chris is gonna also invoke his.
So what I would do then is it would all cancel each other out, and It's a Wonderful Life would advance because all the one times would be gone.
Yep.
I'm not going to do that. That sounds fucking stupid.
Yes.
I'm going to keep my one vote as the only vote remaining to use however I damn well please.
Well, we've
I
achieved.
can't. This is as bad as like when we did, what was it? J.K. Rowling wasn't in the Hall of Fame or whatever, which
good
now
reason.
maybe was prescient, but at the time was so stupid.
I knew it.
This is
You knew she was bad all along.
This is pretty
Yes.
bad.
The signs were already there when we did that.
This is
I love
pretty.
it.
the signs were there in the books, which I
this-
love, but you know.
Right, exactly.
It's a Wonderful Life does not even make the final four.
That's what I wanted. I have
Look.
achieved what I set out to do in this bracket.
To Elf, no less. To Elf.
Yes.
If Elf would have been seated higher like it should have been, we wouldn't have had this issue.
Damn right.
Elf.
Or lower. Either way, really.
Charlie Brown Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, I
Charlie
think
Brown
it's time,
Christmas over Die Hard, absolutely.
it's time for Die Hard to go.
Yep.
I achieved what
Time
else
for
I needed
Die
to
Hard.
hear.
That's already 3. What do you got, Sean?
Whatever, man. I need some recovery from.
No, just go 3-0.
I'll
He
give you my
doesn't even
vote.
get a vote.
I'll vote Die Hard because I've never seen Charlie Brown Christmas.
That's right.
We'll say that.
Please go watch it tonight. Like, literally
I'm
go
gonna
watch
watch it tonight. I'm gonna be getting over this travesty. I have no Christmas spirit left.
Grinch.
Now we only have
Please,
one
God.
left on the bottom half
Please.
because of this ordering that has happened. So it's Grinch versus Polar Express, and
Please.
again, I don't think we need to waste much time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grinch is absolutely...
And I have achieved the exact final four I wanted.
You
I got,
enabled this, Dave.
I got
Very
This
exactly
is on you.
what I wanted.
This is on you,
There's
Dave.
not a lot of
I'm
chalk
very
in the
happy
final
with this.
four. At least not by the rankings that Rotten Tomatoes gave.
What
you can
a
argue
gr-
that some
what
good
a
ones have made
great
it,
night.
but
This is
hold
a
on,
great
can I
night.
scroll just a little bit. There we go. There
is
we
such a
go. This
wonderful
is
final
looking
four.
better.
Fuck
I'm
the
learning on the
Suns.
fly. Okay, so on the top half, because that's how we do things, we have the 9 seed Elf and the 13 seed A Charlie Brown Christmas. Just 3 matchups left. These 2 in the finale.
Sean, you should go first. You clearly have a very strong
okay, let me vote. What's not Elf in that round? Yeah, I'm going to vote that.
The movie he hasn't seen. He voted against the movie he hasn't seen
Fucking
one round
Elf.
earlier, and now
What
votes
movie
for it.
changed Christmas as we know it?
I'll tell you what. I'll save everybody a lot of trouble. I'm voting there too, and you can't break my tiebreaker. So I don't give a fuck what the 2 of you vote. Elf's gone.
That's fine with me. These
How
are,
about
these,
that, Sean? I
these-
just got you back 1 round later.
These
Boom!
are my 2 favorite movies. So
I know.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
It's not my 2 favorite. Like, this would be harder if it was Elf versus Muppet Christmas Carol. But, I mean, I at least like A Charlie Brown Christmas a lot. But
Oh, I'm voting for Charlie Brown.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
You know,
well,
I wanna be on the winning
book
side.
my one time, then
Sometimes
that's
you could-
great.
you could think
I'm good. You know, I'm not gonna make you do it.
You could think, well, don't you want the one that beat yours to like win the championship? Then it shows you.
No.
Not when you hate that thing.
No, you want it to die a painful death.
Yeah.
why? I'm sad. I am sad about this, Sean, because now you like will resent. Even if you try to watch Elf again
I'll
to
hate
try
it.
to see why it's good, you're gonna resent it so much that you won't enjoy
He's
it.
gonna hate
It's
it.
gonna be an uphill
It's-
battle. No, I'm
He's
just
gonna
kidding.
hate every
No,
moment.
It's
I,
tainted.
I really won't.
It may
usually-
overcome it though. Maybe he really likes it after all, even though he hates it going in.
Look,
James Caan, Bob.
I'm all about a
Newhart,
good story.
Ed Asner.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold it against it if it's good.
It is
If it
good.
sucks, then I'm gonna hate it even
It's
more.
very good.
It's okay. I've seen it. It's not like I haven't seen it.
Anyway,
Uh,
Grinch
It's not
Stole
in
Christmas
theaters,
versus Muppet
in
Christmas
fact.
Carol.
I'm voting for Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, me too. By a
Okay.
lot, actually, for what it's worth.
Really? So okay, we didn't really talk about how the Grinch Stole Christmas is kind of like flown
It's-
through.
Oh, yeah.
it hasn't had
that's-
any. It hasn't had a lot of opposition until it hit the
It
opposition.
hit the wall.
I just want to say, like, I want to at least talk about it a little bit. Like, it is really, really, really well done, isn't it?
I
Yes.
think
Like,
so.
it's Dr. Seuss
Yeah.
story.
And
They
you know what?
did a great job. It's short, like it should be, because the book is not that long. The song is great. The Boris, what's his face that plays the Grinch's voice? I can't remember his name, and I wish I did. I just love how he plays the Grinch. It's awesome.
I mean,
Boris Karloff.
as someone who grew up
Yes.
with all of the Dr. Seuss books and was like one of the things that I read a lot as a kid, that adaptation is so good. And like you said, it is just not long. Those books are very, very short.
Mhm.
And I really do appreciate the animation of it for how old it is. It doesn't bother me the same way that some other movies unfortunately do.
Well, like, and when you can make a verb out of the name because it's so like well known,
Yes.
I think that means something.
If Grinch was on the top half, even though I like Elf better, I would have been like fine voting for Grinch because I think it is actually a better movie. I just enjoy watching Elf a lot.
I think the biggest problem I have with the Grinch is that, like, well, I like the movie and I have no qualms with it having made it this far, the song kind of accomplishes everything I need from this. I don't really need the other trappings. I don't need Fahu Dore. I don't need that kind of stuff.
Which again is the trick of how short of the book it is. I mean,
and that's why it works still. And I think that's a testament to this and the Charlie Brown one, where it doesn't overstay its welcome, which is where, a direct comparison to the Grinch with Jim Carrey, which is like, let's make it a full feature film. And you're like, there's not enough material for that.
Yeah. You know what really ruined the Grinch with Jim Carrey was the scene where all the Who's go into like a Christmas party house and they all drop their keys in a bucket like a swinger party.
Yeah, it was creepy.
That was creepy. Really creepy.
Yeah.
Most of the Who interaction between adult men and female Who's is pretty fucking creepy.
It's really bad. Like, really bad.
They're mature adults, Dave. Let them celebrate Christmas.
You know what? Do what you're going to do. Just not in the Grinch movie, which is supposed to be a kid, like a family classic.
Yeah, if you want a swingers version of Whoville, then fine. Go ahead and make it.
That's fine.
Dave, if you want your kids to be sex positive, you gotta be open.
Rule 39, right? If this is the Rule 39 is being invoked here, there probably is a Who swinger porn out there somewhere, and that's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was 34, but you're correct.
I don't remember.
Look, Dave's faking what number it is just so he doesn't.
The thing you have to understand.
I haven't never heard of it, like 39, 40. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
The Grinch's dick grew 3 sizes that day.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
So we are at our finale. 2 all-time greats, 2 beloved, both young and old. I mean, there's like something to be said for, we talked about It's a Wonderful Life. I think that's hard for kids to get through. As an adult, I'm with Dave. I've liked it more. These 2 are both pretty accessible for everybody. I mentioned earlier, I don't know if Charlie Brown's the most kid-friendly, but at the end of the day, they're still like Snoopy doing fun antics, and it's animated and things that look like they're fun, right? And then the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is like the real-life version of cartoons thanks to the Muppets. So this is our final 2. I also think this speaks well of Home Alone because it got knocked out by one of the finalists, but who you got?
Well, let me say, I think, to me, it's not a knock if it's not for kids. Like, It's a Wonderful Life. That doesn't hurt my ranking of it because I don't care. It's an adult-ish Christmas film or like family-oriented. It's not made for kids. That doesn't matter. At the same time, the fact that the Muppet Christmas Carol can be so good for everybody is a bonus. And if I can't have It's a Wonderful Life, this is my second favorite Christmas story. I'm reading the damn thing downstairs right now. It's great. I love it. One of the greatest stories, I already said this, I think has ever been told. So, yeah, I'll go with the Muppet version. That's fine.
The only issue with the Muppet Christmas Carol is the poor Swedish chef does not get to be in it more and have more screen time. It is my only issue with that movie.
I mean, the Swedish chef isn't in the original Christmas Carol either.
I mean, again, this goes back to the Dr. Seuss books. Like, I grew up with a ton of Charlie Brown stuff. It is the majority of my Christmas decorations growing up, and the Muppets is one of my favorite things I ever watched as a kid. So I'm going with the Muppet Christmas Carol, but I honestly don't care either way. I know Muppet Christmas Carol is going to win, so I just want to be the winning side.
Yeah, this is a tough one because I really do like Charlie Brown Christmas. I like just the layout of the plot. I like the fact that the kids actually were nice to Charlie Brown for once, and that kid's godforsaken life towards the end. But there's something really magical just about you said it earlier, Michael Caine playing the straight role, and he was so fucking good in that movie as Scrooge.
Like when he had no business being that. He could have mailed it in. It's a bunch of Muppets around him.
He was incredible as Scrooge in that movie. Like the best adaptation of Scrooge there has been, surrounded by freaking Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat. And the songs are so well written, so the story flows well. It's a good, accessible for all ages telling of that. Which, Sean, I agree with you, which is a fantastic, one of the better stories ever written. So, while I love Charlie Brown Christmas, I will vote Muppet Christmas.
It was a very good use of Rizzo and Gonzo, who are obnoxious sometimes.
Yes,
but it was such a good use of them to be the storytellers of that.
And of course, the main folks like Kermit made perfect sense where they were. You didn't even have to think twice about it. You're like, yeah, of course Kermit would be here. Like, yeah, that's. He's almost a perfect fit for the character, which is strange because he's a Muppet. But
yeah,
all right.
Who voted? Man. Who voted one?
I voted for Charlie Brown Christmas just so it didn't get 4-0'd.
Okay,
that's fair.
I think I would probably actually vote for the Muppet Christmas Carol if it had a gun to my head.
Maisie just voted Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever. I wish I didn't ask her.
Can you throw your ring at her, please?
Yeah.
Like throw it back now. Doesn't deserve it.
So, the Muppet Christmas Carol, you heard it here, is the best Christmas movie.
I was just reminded.
It's not even the best Muppets movie.
I was just reminded of Ghosts of Girlfriends Past with Matthew McConaughey.
Why? Why were you reminded of it?
Because it's a Christmas Carol. telling, but
Technically.
with Matthew McConaughey and it's
girlfriends have
terrible.
passed.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Do you see,
Cody,
Cody? What was so clever about it is there was a girlfriend representing the past, present, and future.
It doesn't sound
Cody,
like something
what is the best? What is the best Muppet movie? You said Muppet Christmas Carol wasn't the best Muppet movie. What is the best?
You don't
Muppet?
want me to say.
Yes, I do.
He really
because I
likes
have
the Muppets
thought.
from about 8 years ago.
No,
He's just a
not-
big fan
I
of
do
Jason
not.
Segel.
That's actually a very fine movie.
I like that movie.
It was
Very good.
I do.
At best.
I really can't tell you why, but I fucking love Muppet Treasure Island.
I
Oh
don't
yes,
think you-
absolutely.
I-
So you're not alone in that.
I absolutely. That is genuinely one of like my favorite movies I've ever
I
seen.
mean, it's no
Yes.
Muppet Christmas Carol, but it's pretty good.
It's. I mean, I probably like Muppet Christmas Carol more, but Muppet Treasure Island is
Okay.
amazing.
Okay. I just
It's
feel like
so
I've had
good.
people in my life who have been like, "Really, that's one of your favorite movies?" And just absolutely yes. I think that movie is so fucking good.
I mean, Tim Curry
Exactly.
nails it. It's so good.
They do. Apparently, the Muppet movies do a pretty good job of getting the one human they need to just kind of make it work.
Yes.
And I think that Tim Curry does such a great job in that movie,
Yes.
leading it.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
tuning in for our Treasure Island review.
Mm-hmm. It's fine. We have time for asides at the 70-minute mark.
Tune in next week where we'll review the Goonies. Stay tuned for
Is
that
it a
one.
Christmas movie?
Overrated.
Wow.
I actually probably agree it's overrated. I've never seen it all the way through though, so I can't.
Damn.
I prefer it. If Goonies had stakes from it, then that movie would have been a lot
You
better.
want the big monster guy to just kill them in the
I can-
sewer?
I can
Well, or
get behind
try.
that.
I think I would have liked the Santa Claus better if it had the stakes from it, too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
now
me
we're
too.
talking.
Well,
See-
now you've discovered Jack Frost, but with Santa Claus.
That's the
so-
formula. We've done it.
Yeah.
Finally. Alrighty. Well, if you weren't listening to this live, let us know. You can always reach out to us. We have email addresses and stuff. You can let us know what you think or put it
Yeah.
in the comments below.
Let us know how bad we fucked up and I think It's a Wonderful Life even in the final fucking four.
Okay, Sean, just to play fun here. If A Wonderful Life was in the final and it was up against A Muppet Christmas Carol, would it have won?
I mean, I can't say I would have voted for it though.
Okay. I would not. I would have voted for
I would
Muppets.
say
No,
it would have been 3-1.
There we
It's a
go.
Wonderful
That's all we
Life
needed.
Is the greatest Christmas movie.
And it still would have lost by the same score
ever
as
told.
Charles
I
Brown.
also wouldn't have voted for it over Charlie Brown Christmas either. So,
Yep.
'Cause
So
I love that
if
one.
it wasn't Elf, Charlie Brown was taking it down.
God, it's a
I-
Wonderful
It could have made it
Life.
one
You
more
know,
round.
Sean, do you know the history of It's a Wonderful Life? How it actually was a shit reviewed movie when it came out, and the only reason it's become a classic was because it was so cheap to put on TV every year.
Yes.
That's not quite right. It was reviewed fine. It bombed in the box office though. No one went to go see
There we
it.
go.
Because it's terrible.
No, again, the reviews were fine. People make mistakes. Moby Dick flopped too. Some people think it's the greatest novel ever written. I can't deal with how stupid people were in the 40s that movie came out?
1940s.
50s? Yeah. That's not my problem. People are dumb.
We need to make a new version of it where COVID's going on, and that's what.
How long
makes
did it
all
take for us to
terrible
even
everywhere.
get
We'll
like
call it-
suffrage going?
It's a
Like these are the
COVID
same
life.
people
It's
we're
a
talking
terrible
about.
life. And it'll just be our day-to-day existence.
They don't know how to review movies. They don't even want to let women vote. Like these are the people we're talking about.
Yes, Virginia, you
Sean-
do have COVID.
You know that like the amendment had been passed for women to vote long before It's a Wonderful Life came out.
Yeah,
right?
no, I know, but like they were still bitter
Yeah, they
about
could
it.
vote, but no one cared about their votes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
Sean's
It
saying.
was like, yeah, they had
When they
to
looked at
vote,
the
but
ballot, if it was a woman's name, they just threw it away. That's
Yeah,
what Sean
yeah.
is saying.
when a woman puts it in the ballot, they look left, they look right, and if no one's there, they just throw it out.
That's what the county recorder's office is for.
Yeah.
That's why Trump actually won the election, right?
Vanessa, that's a woman. You can't have a woman voting in my precinct.
No, Dave, the proper one is that's why Biden won the election.
Now we're going both
Now
down the
you can
COVID and the
really
political
the
rabbit
truth,
hole that we
Sean.
didn't think we were going to this episode. Don't get me started
I'm
now.
kidding.
We're already too long.
Please, everyone know I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Please.
Please, yes, I am too.
Please.
Merry Christmas.
Please.
So, because we had a show this week, you know what that means. We talked about it before. It means no show next week. We'll be off between Christmas and New Year's. We'll be back. What is that? The 3rd? The 4th?
Fourth.
The 6th? The 4th, Tuesday, yeah.
6.
The 4th, we'll be back January 4th with our best of 2021.
Yes.
The annual tradition that goes back further than any of us actually realized.
I'm excited.
We first did one in 2013. That's 8, now almost 9 years ago.
Dang.
So,
We should one day do a thing where we compare all of the best of our list and then to have the best one.
Maybe the best of the decade, Sean. Very
Yeah,
good.
well,
you created
not
a
exactly
new
though,
thing.
because we can only consider what we previously
But
nominated.
if you did it for 10 years, you could do the best of the decade of your show
we
existing.
almost
Well,
did.
that's what.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
that works. That's kind of what I would like to do.
Sean created something.
So we'll be
Praise
pretty
me.
we'll be pretty dark on the YouTube channel in between here. Post Christmas, not a lot happening there. We're taking some time off, but no show the 28th. We'll be back January 4th. Hopefully you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. I don't understand why it's so hard for people. Just say fucking both. If you celebrate Christmas at all, just tell people both. That's what I do. It's not hard.
Yep. Hanukkah is already over, which is part of an issue, but still, Happy Holidays.
Again, I didn't understand the guy that wrote in. It's not like we were doing a buzz off of like Christmas and Hanukkah or something like offensive. We're saying what we know. I don't know. Write us again, dude, if you still listen to the show.
You give that guy a lot more airtime than he deserved.
Yeah,
He's
10 years later.
He's just living up in your head pretty cheaply.
Although I do like that you're having to go through this and hear just how terrible you were back then.
Oh, this episode specifically, like, because it was Christmas, but I'm so Grinch-like, it's really bad. I don't understand it.
All right, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Enjoy the holidays. Hopefully everybody stays safe and healthy out there. We'll see you back then with our best of 2021. Until then, you can find us at our website, objectionnetwork.com, or go to the YouTube channel, even though there won't be new videos at all next week. See you then.